So I know my team ain't the only team in here. So can I get everybody to put an L in the sky one time? And when I say, y'all say, y'all gotta do it like that, but I want at least a black. Yeah.
If you go to a JYoung show, what you'll see is you'll get a lot of energy, you'll get a lot of substance, but at the same time you'll have a lot of fun, because it would just be boring for me to kind of just stand and not bring any personality to it. I try and keep the stage in mind when I do my thing, like where's everybody at, who's someone in the crowd I can talk to or engage, what's something I can jump off of, what's any type of prop I can use, you know, any type of effect of mine to make the show pop out more. So that's kind of where it is with my music as well, just taking my surroundings and putting them into something that I want to take to the next level, whether it be like relationships or what we did at the club last night or something about Black history, which obviously has been the focus over the last year, but taking all those things and just incorporating it so that everybody gets a full idea of who I am.
Young black man, led my life as a former slave, a freedom fighter, rebel general over rays. I'm in the trenches fighting against the Frenchmen, tyrants, armies right behind us, moving quick as lightning. My affliction, violence, almost insane.
Haitian Fight song meant a lot to me because we just had the situation in Haiti with the earthquake when we were doing it. And what a lot of people don't know about like Black history and being a part of Black History Year project was that Haiti was one of the first countries to really have a revolution, and a lot of the immigrants from the slave trade from Africa came through the way of Haiti. So I figured that you had a lot of people that didn't know that there was that type of tie to African American history. And what we did was I took a slave from the past, probably the imagery he would get going into battle during the Haitian Revolution against the French, and then juxtaposing that in time with a present-day Haitian man kind of watching the ruin of his city and the country and dealing with the devastation of the earthquake, and kind of giving them a situation where it's like you've got the country forming itself and then having to rebuild itself. And a lot of the lyrics are the same because I feel that it's similar situations in both cases.
Today is such a disconnect, our family divided and both sides disrespect how we grew up. Black Americans and Africans looking at each other harsh like we wrapped in a different package.
Letter to My Mother was designed to be a song about Africa, and that was always the theme I wanted to go with, but to make it ambiguous to a person so they feel like it could actually be a letter to one's mom. And just the way that the song was structured really meant a lot to me because it talks about kind of the disconnect that we have as African Americans with Africans sometimes, how we don't get along, how we have all these struggles, and just to kind of put that on paper was good to have that type of link to African history.
Yo, yes, your girl keeps stressing me. Undressing, trying to sneak peek the recipe. Her heart's
She Likes Me's fun because to me that's the type of thing that I've been dealing with when I go out for most of my like college life, going to the bar or a club or something like that, and then kind of being interested in different women and then seeing how things play out, what are the different elements, is she with somebody, am I with somebody, what's the particular vibe I'm feeling. And that song, what's especially interesting about it is, even though it's a song about relationship, it was still a song that was meant to like show off that I could be a lyricist.
My team winning, we the first thing by the bar, buying shots now for every patron in me casa. Drinks, flow, so I'm like,
We Gotcha is like the Ron Burgundy story where he says we've been going to the same party for X amount of years and that's in no way depressing. That's just kind of how it is in Lansing when we step out on a Thursday night, and I know that my guy DJ Ruckus is at the post and he's doing his thing, and then we all walk in and we get the treatment where we go straight from the door to the VIP, and it was just fun. I thought that the beat was something that I needed to match the upbeatness of the instrumental by giving people something that maybe they could get ready to anytime they stepped out and they wanted to go to the club, and I think we succeeded with that. And I also think that Filthy did a good job of coming through with a like scene stiller, because like just to watch somebody from that point of view kind of break down what I've been living from his perspective was just kind of cool to see that like we both had the same memory. Detroit has affected the way that my music is shaped because it gives the backdrop to everything that I talk about. A lot of my earlier stuff was just about my adolescence and childhood and wanting to make it to the next level, and that level was school. So when I got to school, some of my music changed, but a lot of the more street smart aspects of my music definitely relates to growing up in Detroit, and it's an experience that I'm really glad I got to have, because now that I work with kids that are from like inner cities themselves, it gives me a chance to relate with them. And then musically there's a link between people that I go home and I perform to every time I'm in the city, because they understand that music meant that we were a part of the same, like, I guess struggle may not be the word, but the same experience of kind of like growing up in the same city.
Cause when I step on the damn stage, I turn this whole club to my fan page. Can't savor the moment, taking the feeling while fans raising the air. This wave and I'm feeling, love the way that I'm killing these songs. Gritty, gritty, get to when I put the pen and pass my city limits. Yeah, we in this, let our step rock, we go hard like every mother's show with my damn spot. So understand a nigga can't stop or stand still, so I'm ripping with my man Peel. So saying to a point a nigga can't feel. Game over, now these streets are damn real.
It was the first time I had ever done a festival or anything like that, and so you have so many different aspects. You have the fan aspect, and you're like, oh crap, there's a DJ Premier, he's walking down the street, and then there's Joel Ortiz and Slaughterhouse, they're over there, and then they're just walking the street, and you see all these people that you've been a fan of and that you get to meet like that. But from a rapper's standpoint, it was great because it was the first time I really got to see how strong my network was. You had a lot of support from the people who were in Michigan that came and saw us do the Michigan Made showcase, but you also had rappers like One Below, who was like my personal like Neil Patrick Harris, that just kind of rode in on this like unicorn and like took me around and showed me all this different stuff that I had never really known how to do before. He was like, you know, man, a lot of people, they come to these shows and they say you need to go where the biggest crowd is at and rock the hardest crowd, but really you need to network with the people that are going to teach you where the money is at, who's going to go on tour, and who's going to let you come to their state and rock out for free. And I had never really thought of it like that, because as an artist, I'm always thinking about the experience of being in front of a big crowd and having that many people listen to your music. But because he kind of took me under his wing and showed me a different like approach, next thing you know, I'm freestyling with One Below, and then Rocka Ira Science of Dilated Peoples notices that. I meet him, then I meet him again at the Hip Hop DX Decon show, and we have a good conversation, and now all of a sudden you've got a rapper that's been in the game for 15 years who knows who I am. And he wasn't the only example of that. I'm just meeting different people based on trying something different from what I know. And even though I've been doing music for about 5 years now, there's still always a chance to grow and not feel like such a rookie. And sometimes it's good to know that I'm still a rookie and that there's a lot I need to learn, because sometimes you can get a little ahead of yourself, and South by South was a humbling experience, but not the type of humbling experience that took confidence away from me. If you had never met me before, and I told you that you should listen to my music, and I had to give you a reason why, is because I make music that people can relate to. Simple as that. A lot of rappers say it, but not a lot of rappers do it. They construct some type of reality that they're not even a part of. For me, everything I say is everything I do, and I don't give you a lot more than what my personality is. There's a part of me that's conscious, there's a part of me that's very passionate about my studies and the things that I've learned, but there's a part of me that just likes to have fun and not take myself that seriously, and all my music relates back to that. And if that is something that you go through every day, then it's probably something I go through every day. And so rather than me giving you this like image of, yeah, I sell coke and yeah, I drive these fast cars, when the reality is I only drive like a Buick or you know, something vintage like that, then I would rather give you my everyday struggle. Shout out to Biggie.
People sometimes disagree. Feelings get hurt.
casa. My team winning, we the first thing by the bar, buying shots now for every patron in me casa. Drinks.